Are you getting ready for your SSC exams? If you are, then you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the reasoning section can feel like this massive, unsolvable maze. But what if I told you that every single part of that maze has a key? Well, in this session, we're going to find those keys, and we're going to crack this code together.
You've got mirror images, you've got number series, you've got all these different types of questions. And yeah, it can feel a bit overwhelming. But here's the secret. Every single one of these problems has a pattern, a core logic just waiting to be found. And that logic, that's our map. Today, our mission is to hand you that map, so the path to the right answer becomes super clear and simple.
So, here's our game plan for navigating this maze. First, we're jumping into visual puzzles. Then, we're going to master the art of statements and logic. After that, we'll uncover some really cool tricks for number and letter series. And to wrap it all up, we'll go over some absolutely crucial exam day strategies. You ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, first up, visual puzzles. A lot of people think these are easy marks, but under the pressure of the exam, they can be surprisingly tricky. I'm about to show you a really simple technique that's going to boost not just your score, but your confidence too.
So, be honest, have you ever found yourself staring at a mirror image, tilting your head, trying to mentally flip all the letters and shapes? It's super common, and it's a real stumbling block for a lot of students. Let's take a look at a typical example you might get.
All right, here is our challenge. Find the mirror image of the word RUVSYN. Just take a quick look at the options there. Got an answer in mind? Okay, hold on to that thought. Before you lock it in, let's learn the one simple rule that makes these questions an absolute breeze.
And here it is. This is the golden rule for mirror images. All you have to remember is this. What's on the left goes to the right. What's on the right goes to the left. But, and this is the important part, the top and the bottom of the letters, they stay exactly where they are.
Now let's apply that rule to our problem. The letter R, which is on the far left, is going to move all the way to the far right in the mirror image, and it's going to flip horizontally. And the N on the far right, it moves to the far left. Now, if we follow that same logic for every single letter, it becomes so obvious that option B is the only one that works. See? Simple, right?
All right, let's switch gears from visual logic to verbal logic. We are now jumping into syllogisms. I know, these questions can seem really tough. They're all about your powers of deduction. But just like with mirror images, there's a fantastic visual trick that cuts right through all the confusion. So here's a classic syllogism problem. We're given 3 statements about bottles, containers, buckets, and soaps. Our job is to figure out which conclusions must be true based on these statements. Just reading them can make your head spin, so let's draw it out instead.
Our secret weapon here is the Venn diagram, and the rule is so simple. For a statement like all A are B, you just draw the A circle completely inside the B circle. And for some A are B, you just make the circles overlap a little bit. That's it. This little trick turns these abstract words into a crystal clear picture.
Okay, now let's use our diagram to test the conclusions. Conclusion 1, some soaps are bottles. If you look at our drawing, the soaps and bottle circles don't necessarily have to touch, so we can't say this is definitely true. Same logic for conclusion 2. But look at conclusion 3, some soaps are containers. Since the bucket circle is inside soaps and it also overlaps with containers, this statement has to be true. So the big takeaway is that only conclusion 3 logically follows.
All right, time to switch gears again. Let's move on to our third category, number and letter tricks. This is where you get to be a bit of a detective. It's all about spotting that one hidden pattern. Have a look at this number analogy. 5 is to 140 as 8 is to 536. So, what is 6 to? The relationship here isn't simple addition or multiplication, is it? There's something a little more clever going on.
So what do you think? What's the hidden logic? Take a second to think about it. How can you get from 5 to 140 and from 8 to 536 using the exact same rule? I'll give you a small hint. The answer often has to do with squares and cubes.
And there it is, that aha moment. The logic is the cube of the number plus 3 times that same number. Let's just test it to be sure. For 5, it's 5 cubed, which is 125, plus 5 times 3, which is 15. And yep, 125 plus 15 is 140. It works. And it also works for 8. 8 cubed is 512 plus 24 gives us 536. Perfect.
And just like that, we can find our final answer.
We just apply the exact same logic to the number 6. So 6 cubed is 216. We add 6 times 3, which is 18, and we get our final answer, 234. See? Once you spot the pattern, the rest is just simple math. Okay, so we've tackled a few specific types of problems. But now, let's zoom out a little. Because, solving questions is one thing, but doing really well in the actual exam hall, well, that requires a smart strategy. So let's cover some final tips.
Let's lock in these 4 exam time mantras. First, read every question twice. Seriously, just one word can change everything. Second, get really good at elimination. Ruling out the obviously wrong answers is basically half the battle. Third, you have to be ruthless with your time. Don't ever get stuck on one question. And finally, and this is the most important one, practice, practice, practice. The more you do it, the faster and more confident you'll become.
So, after breaking down these different puzzles today, which topic feels a little less scary? Maybe it's the visual tricks or the logic diagrams or even the number patterns. Whatever it is, I really hope you're leaving this session feeling a lot more confident than when you started. Because the real key to cracking the code isn't just knowing the answers, it's about understanding the patterns behind them. What other patterns will you start to see now? Not just in exams, but in the world all around you.